गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Ishavasya Upanishad, verse number 2, and last week we saw the introduction to it, and there it was told that the scriptures is saying that the one who is Atmaveta means the one who is Atmanishtha, the one means he who is established in the self or seeking the self or is committed to the self. Such a person must give up the three eshanas, that is the putreshna, desire for progeny, vitteshna, desire for wealth, and lokeshna, desire for name and fame, and in this manner he should protect the Atma. Does the Atma require protection? No. But as a sannyasi or as a seeker, very quickly the world will hijack your mind, and therefore it is told that this thought of contemplation on the Atma or that Atma Vichar must be protected by staying away from these three desires. And therefore, and then, but in life we see that everyone is not of the same caliber. Last week we were talking about the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, human kingdom, and God kingdom. God kingdom, which is the ultimate. So if we are tamasic, we are plant kingdom. If we are rajasic, we are animal kingdom, meaning reacting to every small thing. Animal kingdom also means that we are, whatever we do in life as a human being, I'm talking about human being, even though I'm using the word animal man, animal man, even though he is a human being, but he continuously complains, he continuously reacts, he is continuously miserable, he is continuously suffering, and therefore if he needs to move towards the God, to be the God man, in between stage, Swamiji says, is the man, meaning he must control his mind, these three desires. Once you have controlled these three desires, you are man. When you have merged into the Atma, into the self, then you are God man. And everyone is not able to be a sannyasi. Everyone is not able to continuously contemplate only on the self or the pure consciousness or the reality. Very few people are there. And what about the majority of the people? Majority of the people, they are interested. They are interested in the self, but they are not able to remain completely committed to the self. And here it says that atha itarasya anatmagnataya atmagrahanaaya ashaktasyedam upadishati mantraha. So those people who are not able to contemplate on the Atma as given in the first verse, which was for the person who is committed to the knowledge of the self, who is committed to the self. We find once a week we come to this satsang, once a week we give lecture on this particular Upanishad. What about the rest of the 23 and a half hours? What are we doing? Are we thinking about the same, about the self? Or are we thinking about what is to be done next, and I have to do this, I have to do that? So many other, our mind is having project after project after project after project. It gets distracted in various avenues. So it says here that for such a person who is not able to continuously contemplate on the truth, on the Atma Tattva, for such a person this second verse has been introduced. This is the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya. Because suddenly, how come first verse was about Ishavasya Vidagam Sarvam and second verse is Kurvanneveha Karmani? And these are two standpoints which we find, and we probably mentioned also. Some people, you must have also come across, some people are completely renounced and they are following the path of the truth. Following the path, what? They are continuously in the truth. They don't feel they have to do anything. They are totally udasin, indifferent to all activity, all responsibility, all duty, all relationship, all actions. But everyone is not able to perform that way in their life, isn't it? And some people, this is the other step. So those who are what I just said, they are the followers of the Jnana Marga or the Jnana Nishtha, and the other are Karma Nishtha. Karma Nishtha is those who believe that until I don't do anything, how can anything be result be gained? If I don't invest, how will I get a return? See, so they believe that in doing, sannyasi believes in non-doing. And these people believe in doing, and these are the two paths, the grahastha marg and the sannyas marg. Eventually grahastha also, this is what is going to be told in this verse now, second verse. Eventually the grahastha also, because of his commitment and his disposition, that unless and until I don't perform, how will I get to it? How can it be just like that? That I stop doing everything. If everyone does that, what will happen to the world? These are the type of thoughts that come from such people who are karmanisht. These are the people who abuse the sannyasis by not giving them bhiksha, by not taking care of them or whatever. If they go, they are not asking for every day. They have contempt for such sannyasis who are committed to the truth, because they believe that such a young fellow wasted life, he is contemplating on the truth. You should be productive. Life must be productive. This second type of people, anatmagya. These people believe, those who are committed to karma marg, they believe life is to work and you must work. And they believe that only by working, only by karma, things can be achieved. And therefore the path of yoga has come about, the path of kundalini has come about, the path of kriya yoga has come about, the path of puja, archa, havan, upasana. All this requires I have to do something, and therefore all these paths. And in Gyan Marg, he who is qualified, sannyas means renunciation. He has renounced completely. Even thinking he has renounced. See, so such people are very rare. Then how if then if some people, if people, this is the argument. Now we will see how the argument unfolds. Instead of I saying everything, let's see what Shankaracharya says, and wherever appropriate, then I will give the add some contemplation to it. Kurvanneveha karmani, kurvanneveha karmani, jijivishet shatagang samaha, jijivishet shatagang samaha, evam tvai nanyat hetosti, evam tvai nanyat hetosti, na karma lipyate nare, na karma lipyate nare. कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेत् शतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे. It says kurvanneveha karmani, while performing your karma or duties or whatever, we'll explain those words again. While performing your duty in this world, everyone, why you want to do? You want to, everyone, this second type of people, anatmagya, those people who are not able to stay with the truth, continuously contemplating to the exclusion of everything or in and through everything. They are not able to do that. Then what is the common disposition of majority of the people? Why do they want to live longer? In Melbourne also we have one yoga. It says yoga, and underneath it says you can what? You remain healthy for 100 years. There is one yoga institute. Remain healthy for 100 years. Our scriptures say that if you want to remain healthy in life, and that is an accepted what you call age for a healthy person. Krishna Bhagwan lived for 125 years. So how you are going to live these 100 years? Slowly we are getting to that point. 50 years ago the average age was 30, 40, 50. Now it has come to 80. Slowly another 20 20 more years, slowly it will come. But what is the quality of that life? Anyway, we will explain that again when the commentary begins. He says that when we are living in this world, we perform activity or perform action so that we can live long healthily. That is why we want to perform actions, and we all know it, that when you are active, when you are healthy, when you are then automatically less disease, less mind is healthy, life will extend. And then he says in the second verse, evam tvai nanyato yathetosti na karma lipyate nare. And in this manner, those people who have this abhiman, those people who have this kartrutva abhiman, the arrogance of doership, for such people there is no other way for them other than working hard, working 100% for as long as till the last breath, let's say. And if the last breath is 100, fantastic. There is no other way for them. Na karma lipyate nare. And if you work in this manner, working hard for every day, and how? Na lipyate nare. Not remaining attached to the action that is being performed. Fir gadbad kar di. Again you have put something which we are not able to practice. Now that will be explained as we go along. Then it is possible. What will happen as a result? Now this is what the verse is saying. Now what will happen as a result? If you are na lipyate nare, if na karma lipyate nare, if you are not attached, if you are not sticking to the karma, you are not expecting anything in return for the karma, you are performing your karma 100%, then what will happen? Only one thing will happen. What is that? Purification of the antahkaran. Antahkaran means mana buddhi chitta ahankar. Mind, intellect, memory and ego. Ego is established on the more the data from other three. What? Mana, mind, emotions. Mana, buddhi. Buddhi, convictions, ideas, imaginations, concepts. The more the emotions, the more the concepts, greater is the ego. And the last one, chitta. Chitta means memories, conscious and subconscious memories. So these three put together, the more the data is there, the greater the ego is. Lesser the data is there, lesser the ego is. No data, no ego. Understand the principle. So na lipyate nare, perform. We think we are performing the action. This point has come many times now. Even in Vivek Chudamani also it came. We think we are performing the actions. Who thinks? The ego thinks, the kartrutva abhimani, the doer. But actually, action is the nature of the equipment. Body, breath, mind, intellect. It is their nature. Let them perform let them get active. How does it matter? Activity becomes karma and activity becomes action only when the doer takes ownership of the activity or gets identified with the activity. See, you are sitting, the other day I was sitting, lying out in the backyard, and I was looking at the sky. Beautiful. Continuously the clouds were getting formed and clouds were getting destroyed. Clouds were getting formed and clouds. It is their nature. But lying down, what I was thinking, oh, now this cloud is going to grow. And it started growing. But it was going to grow anyway. But I took ownership. And I started growing, and it went growing. And intuitively, somewhere it said, now it will start dissolving. And it started dissolving. So, this false sense of identification or ownership that I am making the cloud grow and I am making the cloud dissolve, this is ego. This has to be avoided in all activity in our life. See? Then as a result, the ego becomes, if we disidentify from the activity, let the activity continue. But you don't take ownership. Then as a result of the purification, automatically we will be pushed towards vanaprastha sannyas. Automatically. It's not, nobody is going to force you in that direction, but a natural disposition. Like 2 days ago, last Saturday someone came, and he is about my age, and he has migrated 20 years ago. He is working, no promotion for so many years because he is not good at computers. And now that he is at work continuously people are telling him, you are not good at computers, you have to do this, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, you have to do it this way. So his confidence was low. And now when he was working from home, he was very jittery. How am I going to perform? Because there is no one to guide me. But so for that, what should I do? The wife goes to work, the children are in school, or grown-up kids are away, they are living by themselves. Now what should I do? He does yoga a little bit every day, but he's telling me, he started looking at the sun and feeling that the energy of the sun is coming in him. And as he started doing it, his concentration increased. And then as he's typing, because he used to make a lot of mistakes, his boss used to say, you're making a lot of mistakes in typing. Now he is very clear that if he is pressing A and he sees the A coming up there, he presses B, the B is coming up there. Again, the focus on the sun translated in work as focus, and he continued practicing it. Something magical happened. He broke all the records of the council orders that come, and he got a promotion. And he got a promotion. But after getting promotion, the anxiety came. See? Because I am taking, he's imagining that the energy is coming in. He didn't feel that the sun is gracing. So I said, oh, why don't, he says, I don't believe in God. Now what do I tell him? And I know he used to, but I am doing yoga. I am focusing on the sun. I am making the energy, I am taking in the energy of the sun into myself. I am pressing the letters on the laptop. I am, this is his language. I am focusing on the alphabet that is getting typed, and as I see it on the screen of the computer. Where there is I, there will be a crash after some time. And that's exactly what happened to him. That single pointed mind which brought him promotion, that same mind, because it is not surrendered at the higher, went in a wrong direction. What if I am not able to perform in this manner for the next 3-4 months? And anxiety set in. And the moment anxiety set in, he had this is what happens to us when we get anxiety or panic, the heartbeat increases. He had 160 heartbeat. Admitted to the hospital. But they gave him some injection, he became normal, but no sign of any deterioration in the heart. 3 days, 4 days later, again the same thing happened. He went to the hospital, they can't see anything wrong with his heart. Then he went for stress test, this test, that test. Heart is absolutely fine. No blockage, nothing. And going through this for last 1.5 months, then he decided, now what do? Doctors are saying, we don't know what is happening to you. Then last Saturday he said, I will call Swamiji, because he knows me for 20 years. Every year once or twice he calls, but suddenly, Swamiji, I want to come and talk to you. See? Why that palpitation? Because of anxiety. Why anxiety? Because of expectation. Why expectation? Because I am doing it and I want a particular result, or I don't want a particular result. And therefore it is said, na karma lipyate nare. This is the healthy approach. Perform with inspiration, without expectation. 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Na karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. But we listen, but we don't put it into practice. That is our issue in life. Anyway, so with this, now what Jnaneshwar Maharaj, all confusion. Adi Shankaracharya. What does Adi Shankaracharya say here? He says, Kurvanneva iha nivartatayan eva karmani agnihotradini jivitum icchet shatagang shatasankhyaakaha samaha samvatsaran. He says, in this world, the that in this world, while living and performing karma, uh, he says there are two ways of looking at it. When they say Shatagang Samaha, some people say we must live for 100 years. But the other interpretation is live 100% every moment. Now, up to you. If you are identified with body, you want to live for 100 years. Like our Swamiji met one lady in Nepal somewhere, and she was 107 years old. Her children have died, her grandchildren have passed away. And when her first grandchild died, she was so disturbed, she started drinking, smoking, everything wrong she could do, she was doing. But the body was very healthy. Her DNA was such. Her prarabdha did everything to kill the body. But body is not dying, but body is not sick. See? So it can be a curse living 100 years. Living 100 years with misery is a curse. But living one moment with 100% availability and inspiration, it's a blessing. Which people do you like to go to and be associated with? Who are continuously complaining? Who are they? The living dead. Living dead. Or you enjoy being with people who are having all problems, yet a big smile and a sparkle in their eyes and ever positive and inspired because they are alive. Majority of the people are, after a certain age, they are waiting for death. And something shifts inside them. Either they retire or they have done their duties of getting their children married, and now what? And their mind is not turned towards God. Then just keep complaining. You get enough serials showing that. Interfering in other people's lives, interfering in children's lives, interfering in grandchildren's life, interfering in a neighbor's life. That is their pastime. They have not developed any other pastime. And they become senile. So here he says in the first sentence that that do not live with dejection in life. Live with inspiration. And therefore here he says Agnihotradini Karmani Agnihotradini means live Agnihotra. See, Agnihotra is in the morning you have to do the Agnihotra, the lighting of the fire, and do the Sandhya Vandan and all that. For that you will have to get up in the morning. You will have to brush your teeth, go to toilet, take shower, not eat anything, do the Sandhya Vandan, do your dhyan, do your japa, and then go for a breakfast. Automatically your life becomes disciplined. But we are get up at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I have to work from home, doesn't matter. But some I have found very different. Some people I have met that in this corona lockdown, they have become fitter. Their health is much better because they have put themselves into a particular routine. They are going and exercising. They are not overeating. Self-discipline. Nobody has forced them. बट बिफोर सोशलाइजिंग लेट्स गो हियर, चल रहा है क्या कॉफ़ी के लिए, चलो कॉफ़ी पियेंगे, उसके बाद एक केक भी खा लेंगे, फिर उसके बाद समवन एल्स सेज हे 4 o'clock ब्रेक, लेट्स गो आउट फॉर कॉफ़ी, अगेन वी गो आउट फॉर कॉफ़ी. So no control. So here he says that these people who are com- uh, who live in this world performing karma, performing duties, performing action, they must live under or perform karma with self-accepted discipline. And from where this discipline comes? Example, Agnihotra, Upasana, etc., Vedic chanting, etc. Where does it come from? From our scriptures only. But it should be self-accepted. It should not be imposed on someone. Then it is healthy. And these people, if they are in the Varnashram, whether they are Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whether they are Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi. Sannyasi will leave him aside. Vanaprastha. They should live live in self-discipline. Very, very important. Otherwise, we can become very, very lazy. We can become procrastinating. Very quickly the tamas catches. Nidra, alasya, pramada. So when we are doing Agnihotra and all, Upasana, etc., what happens? Automatically our Shamadama happens, the senses come under control. They are not distracted by the TV, the news, the serials. Why? You have to perform Agnihotra, you have to chant the mantras. If you have to do something, see, you can chant the Agnihotra mantras. Some of you are doing it, I know. It is going on. Is it happening mechanically? Or is it happening with 100% availability and inspiration? The attitude makes the difference, isn't it? I am speaking here. I can speak. Every class I have to speak. But am I available 100%? Am I doing it with joy? Is the action being this action is happening right now? Is it happening with joy? Or is it, अबे यार फिर से उपनिषद आ गया, अब क्या है पता नहीं, लोग समझते हैं कि नहीं समझते, मेरे को बक 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 करना पड़ता है. हाँ? What am I going to gain by speaking all this? If I go in that angle, very quickly it becomes a loop and your mind keeps going in that round and round and round and round. And very quickly everything will stop. So here he says that if you want to live, when you are living life, don't look forward to death. Don't think this. If thought of death is coming in your mind, then we have gone the wrong way. Then what should be the thought that should come to us till the last breath? That we must perform, we must live with inspiration. Otherwise we are going the wrong way. And we have all come across enough people who don't have to die. They don't have to have physical death. They are already dead. The way they speak, the way they walk, the way they have self-pity, the way they are depressed, the way they are continuously seeking attention from people, from relatives, from doctors, from every passerby. They want attention. This is living death. So don't seek death. Seek action. Perform action 100%. So have the desire to live and don't have the desire for and don't live death, not our desire for death. These are And those who are Atmagya, those who are Atmanishtha, those who are committed to the truth, they should, as we have told before, they should give up the attachment to the three Eshanas. So here he says that, where are we? तावद्धि पुरुषस्य परम आयुः निरूपितम् तथा च प्राप्त अनुवादेन यत् जिजीविषेत शतगंश वर्षाणि तत् कुर्वन् एव कर्मणि इति एतद् विधीयते. He says that basically what we just said, that that by living and performing, if the urge is, if the desire is, I'll take both ways. If the desire is to live for 100 years, the only way you can live for 100 years is kurvanneveha karmani na lipyate nare. Perform actions and don't get attached to the karma. That is the way. And the second way, as I already mentioned, that we don't know if we are going to live for 100 or not, but important is that every moment we perform 100% without any expectation, without any ownership of action. How do you not perform any ownership of the action? By offering everything to the Ishavasya Sarvam. We are not able to focus on Isha, on the Atma, as given in the first verse. But at least we can perform whatever actions we are performing and recognize that the action is being performed by that spirit. It is, the action is being performed for the spirit. So therefore, I get out of the way. I do not take the ownership of the action. I do not take the ownership of performance of the action, and I don't take the ownership of expecting a result from that action. I am out of the equation. I handed it over to something higher. This is the smart way of, intelligent way of performing action and living dynamically. Kurvanneveha karmani, live dynamically. Performing action in this manner. And what will happen as a result of this? As a result of this, our personality will get, when we are living 100%, I'm not talking 100 years, if we are living 100% with offering our actions to the higher and not expecting any result, our personality will get integrated. Why does it get integrated? Because of purification. See? Then what you will speak, what you think, what you speak and what you do, there will be synchronization of these three. Right now we are thinking something, speaking something, performing something else. Someone comes in front of us, hello my dear, how are you? Smooch, smooch. And inside the mind, the thought is going on, why this Chudail has come again. Now I have to take care of this person, I have to spend time with this person. Inside, dislike. Outside, something else. Speech, very sweet. But in the mind, storm going on of dislike, of hatred, of contempt. So when does integration take place? When there is joy in action. See, they say today's kids, many people, children tell me that I don't like to do this, I don't like to do that, I don't like this subject, I don't like that subject. I'm thinking of someone told. He said, I after 2 years of engineering, he said, Swamiji, I don't like this subject. I want to give up this subject and take 1 year sabbatical and then again see what I'm interested in and I'll pursue that. I said, if you do that, I don't want to know you from today onwards. He said, why you are saying like this? So many people are doing that. Then I explained to him that you want to do it. It's not about what you like to do. Whatever has come on a platter to you, you perform. You start liking it. You start loving, not liking, loving it. Do father and mother like to remain, like to have broken sleep throughout the night for 2-3 years till the child is grown up? No, but they do it without complaint, because they love the child. So if action is happening, action is taking place from here, thought, word and deed, then love it. You're ready to, for that love of the kid, you are ready to go through the sleepless nights. You will forget your hunger. See? And same parents, as the child grows up and starts having a bit of ego, then their attitude changes. Hey, don't disturb. Stay in your room. Dad, I want to watch my show on the TV. He says, who's the head of the house? They get the first chance. Children get afterwards. Only 1 hour TV or 2 hour TV. But when that kid was small, he was taking the console, flicking the channels, breaking the remote control. It's okay. Everything was excused. Now if a grown-up kid, even a 7-8-year-old kid does that, immediately you will get one. See? Why? Ego has come up. Doership has come. So perform actions with joy. Love the action. It's not do what you like what you are doing, or love what you are doing. Today's generation, they want to do what they like, and they will never find it. Well, some of them do find it, but it's a frustrating. The circumstances are changing, environment is changing, their body is changing, their mind is changing, and they want to do something that they like. Their likes are also changing throughout the life, and this is the problem that they face. But if the equation is changed, that you like or love what you are doing, then you are not running after anything, because some action will be happening out of this equipment all the time. Whether it is eating, whether it is walking, whether it is driving, whether it is speaking. See, so do it joyfully, with inspiration, 100%, as we said before, dynamically. So when we are working with joy, then we are not under the work pressure. We are not under the load of expectation. We are not under the load of the job that has to be done, if I do it with what do you call, with the attitude of dislike, then that same work becomes a very heavy. Oh my God, I continuously will keep looking at how much time has passed, how much time has passed, when I have to sign out, when I have to sign out. But 1 minute seems like few hours. But when you are performing anything in joy, then you can be working whole day and you feel, oh, the day has just passed, I didn't even realize it. See, this is all hidden. This is all hidden in these 2-3 sentences of the first paragraph of the commentary. So this is the first step. This is how it was told in the second chapter also. This is second verse in Ishavasya Upanishad also. Karmanyevadhikaraste, that verse comes in the second chapter. And here also Kurvanneveha Karmani, this also is coming in the second verse. I told you 18 verses, 18 chapters. Some masters say that way. Or maybe Shankaracharya also says, I don't know. We'll see if it comes somewhere. So therefore, if we have to live, let's live a life, or such a person must live a life in a dynamic, creative way so that we do not get caught up in the karma phala. Tat kurvanneva karmani iti etad vidhiyate, and this is how we must live doing the karma. And what are the karma phala comes only from expectation, desire, jijivishet. एवं प्रकारेण त्वयि जिजिविषति नरे नरमात्र अभिमानिनी इति एतस्माद् अग्निहोत्रादीनि कर्माणि कुर्वतः वर्तमानात् प्रकारात् अन्यथा प्रकार आन्तरं न अस्ति, येन प्रकारेण अशुभं कर्म न लिप्यते, कर्मणा न लिप्यते इति अर्थः. Now in the second paragraph he says that therefore other than living in this particular lifestyle, there is no other way for us to live. We must live what was told in the first paragraph. And don't forget for whom it was told. It was told for the person who is not able to focus on the Atma. Anatmagya. He who does not know the self, he who is not able to contemplate on the self, he who is not able to let it click in him that the self is he alone. He keeps it objective, and even as objective he is not able to focus on it. Why? He is too preoccupied with activity, with karma, with doing his duties. See? And therefore here when he says jijivishati nare naramatra abhimani niti etasmad agnihotraadini karmani kurvatah. So if you want to spend your life of 100 years, if we have been given 100 years, or if we want to live 100 years, we must live in this manner. Otherwise, uh, if we if we don't live in this manner, if we don't live 100%, if we don't express joy in action, if we continue to expect results from our action, then what will happen? What is the thought coming in your mind? What will happen then? Because wherever there is a sprinkling of kartrutva abhiman, wherever there is a sprinkling of doership, that karma becomes ashubha karma. Wherever there is I, which is owning or identified with activity, that activity becomes ashubha. Ashubh means we become victimized by unwanted karma. The karma, because think in this way, little bit outside the box. Are you making the body, breath, mind, intellect become activated? Can the ego make them activated? Remember, I have given you examples, two examples. One is when we were kids. We used to take the comb, put it through our hair, and we'll have small pieces of paper, and we'll bring the comb underneath or above, and those balls of small pellets, they will start dancing. So is the comb making the pellets dance? No. Isn't it? Second thing, when the iron filings are in the presence of a magnet, the iron filings start moving towards the magnet. They start moving towards the magnet. So is someone initiating the action in it? Third example, in the presence of the sun, the earth wakes up and activity begins. Is the earth making you, is the sun making you get up? Is the sun making you take bath in the morning, do your puja, go to work? Is the sun saying do all this? So what is sun? Na lipyate. In his presence everything is happening, but he is not making you do anything. That is your choice. There are many people who are not doing what you are doing. They still sleep till 12 o'clock. So we are not, in the second verse, such people are not able to recognize this. And when they are not able to recognize this, some unintelligent people, they take ownership, and as a result of ownership, the karma becomes ashubha karma, because it has got colored with, it has got influenced, that activity has got influenced with doership. Activity is happening. It is the nature of body to act. It is the nature of senses to see, hear, touch, feel, taste, or not do that in sleep. Same way, it is the nature of the mind to think or not think. Unnecessarily you are saying I am thinking, you are attached I to it. And the moment you get attach the I to the thinking that is happening, because that is the nature of the mind, immediately confusions begin, immediately doubts are there, immediately expectations are there, immediately guilt is there. Have I done it right or have I done it wrong? I should not have done this, I should have done this. All this begins because you got identified. You took ownership of those thoughts. Thoughts were coming and going, speech was coming and going, activity was happening, coming and going by itself, and you took I am doing thinking, I am speaking, I am performing the deeds, and that becomes ashubha. Recognize this is how it is. Now, if you say, no, 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 that means I do puja, it is and many people say, I have finished, many people, even in sannyasi cadres, they keep a record. I have done 500 Gita Jnana Yajna. I have done 10 times Bhagavad Saptah or 100 times Bhagavad Saptah. Is Bhagavad Saptah to keep a count of how many times you have done? Is it a count of how many times we have done Bhagavad Gita? Or are we interacting with Bhagavad Gita so that we dissolve? That we recognize, discover ourselves or recognize ourselves. The whole purpose is lost. Wherever the precipitation of the Kartrutva Abhiman happens. And this happens with people who are not committed to the higher. They take the ownership. And naturally, when we take ownership, then immediately the action gets divided into I like this action, I don't like this action, I like these thoughts, I don't like these thoughts. And thoughts are not under your control. And if you do exercise some control, it requires lot of energy. And after that, and if you're not, as you're getting old, you're not able to invoke that type of energy, then confusion, self-doubt, lack of atmabal, lack of inner strength, confidence. And then these things lead to more desires. These things, when load is too much, then it leads to laziness. And nothing is happening as I want, I don't think I will do this. Laziness. So therefore, by performing kurvanneveha karmani jiji vishetagang samaha evam tvai nan yatho testi na karma lipyate nare. Here it is told that you perform the actions without expectation without getting identified with the karma, because identification with karma will lead to desire, laziness, lethargy, etc. And as a result of that, we become victimized and therefore, how we must live in our life? We must perform action or live our life without performing everything, but not becoming dependent or being enslaved by anything, including thought, word and deed. Don't become dependent on the thought, word and deed. Don't become enslaved by thought, word and deed. And this will not happen. You decide today and it will start happening. It will not. In small doses you begin. Start with washing dishes. Start with vacuuming. Start with lawn mowing. Start with small things. And slowly it will grow and you will fall into that disposition. What is that disposition? That karma, that activity is happening and you are just the observer. And this observation, the result of this, which is observation, this happens at two levels. It happens outside and it happens inside. When it is happening outside, you are called the drashta of whatever activity is taking place. Drashta means you are the observer of all activity that is taking place within you or at your body level or out there in the world. And when you are in the seat of meditation, you can be an observer. That observer is called the witness, sakshi. So when we perform these actions in this particular manner, we are not talking about realization. We are talking about a healthy interaction with activity, so that we come to recognize that activity is happening and we are independent of the activity. So here when he says antaram na asti yena prakarena ashubham karma na lipyate कर्मणा न लिप्यत इति अर्थः. If Nara has to become Narayana, there are two ways. The royal way is the first verse. Straight, catch your nose is the first verse. You can catch your nose, go around and then catch your nose. That is the second way. This second way is called step-by-step liberation. And if liberation is not there, at least you will be happy in your life when you perform it the way Adi Shankaracharya has explained it, or the Upanishad, the commentary on the second verse. It will not be a miserable existence. It will be a joyful expression with inspiration every moment of your existence. When we become a victim of the karma, that means we become identified with it. First thing that happens is creation of likes and dislikes. Then second thing, we anticipate result of the action. Second, and and the third is that being a victim of the karma, there will be a karma phala, and if we like the karma phala, then we will be excited. If we don't like it, we go into depression. So don't create likes and dislikes, first thing. Second thing, don't have the anticipation of the result, what the result is going to be. And third, then the karma lep will not be there. Na karma lipyate nare, no karma lep. Lep means sticking to the karma. Where there are no expectations, there is no karma lep. Simple as that. Now in the third paragraph, second is continuing. Atha shastra vihitani karmani agnihotraadini kurvanneva jijivishet. So if at all you want to live 100 years, it is said, if you have the desire to live in this world doing karma, do it according to atah shastra vihitani karmani, and do the karmas, perform the karmas joyfully, as we said before, as given in the scriptures. If you want to be engaged in activity, it should not be I like this activity and I don't like. No, do it according to the scriptures. You see our Shankaracharyas, whether you go, if you have been to Sringeri or Kanchipuram, or even our Nishchalananji from Puri, who was a disciple of Akhandananji Maharaj. Now you look at them, even though they are great masters, but they live their life with such discipline. Their day starts early morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock. First puja at 4:30. If you go to Sringeri, you can take part in that puja of the Vedic chanting, and where Chandra Maulishwar puja goes on in the morning and in the evening, every day. No free time for that Swami. From morning till evening he is busy. Not because he wants to be. That comes with the position. He is not saying, please come and ask me questions, please come with your problems. No, people come automatically. He's not said, oh, I know everything, I have studied, I know the truth now, and therefore I don't have to do anything. He doesn't say that. He continues. He continues. Shastra Vihitani. Now a question is asked. What is the question? The question is, yeah. The question is, Katham पुनः idam avagamyate पूर्वेण संन्यासिनो ज्ञाननिष्ठ उक्ता द्वितीयेन तद अशक्तस्य कर्मनिष्ठेति. The question is asked. He says, how can you, where are we? Sir, when you make this statement, what is that? That the first mantra is meant for sannyasi and the second mantra is for those who cannot follow the path of sannyasa. That's what was said, and thus karma marg was given for those people who cannot follow the continue on the path of sannyasa. On what basis did you say that, sir? This is the question. What are the basis of this? In answer, the teacher says, Uchyate jnana karmanoho avirodham parvatavad akampyam yatha uktam na smarasi kim. He says, the teacher says, I have told you 100 times, man. Before, in the introduction also I told you, and in the second verse also we told that what? That jnana and karma, the path of knowledge and the path of karma are totally opposite. You cannot gain knowledge through karma. Now when we talk about path of knowledge, what we are pursuing here is not path of knowledge. This is path of karma. But if you are subjective while this is going on, then it becomes path of knowledge, where our attention is continuously, effortlessly on the Atma Tattva. Jnana, knowledge of the self, cannot be gained through words. Remember this. So when the first verse was told, for whom was it told? The one who is not disturbed by the world. He is already living a udasin life. He has already renounced all doing. He has already renounced the kartrutva abhiman and bhoktrutva abhiman. For him, a spark was required. And there he is. For us, in every class, a complete matchbox is wasted. Still, we are deet. We are deet. We are like the dog's tail. We will not become straight. We will not get ignited. सिर्फ धुआं निकलता है और कुछ नहीं निकलता. तो यहाँ पे So here, when he says, the teacher says, I told you 100 times that the Jnana and Karma Marga are totally opposite. Karma is for the individuality and Jnana. Remember, see this point. Karma is for individuality. And Jnana is where individuality dissolves. So if you are gathering information from this satsang, then we are not allowing the individuality to dissolve at this very moment. If we are hanging on to the words without being subjective, then we lose the plot. So karma is for the individuality and jnana is where individuality dissolves. Jnana is not a prakriya. It's not a process. Karma is a process. Jnana is your sthiti, is your natural state. There's two things, sthiti and gati. Sthiti is establishment, natural state. Gati is movement. Where is movement? Manasa, vacha, kaya. Movement of thoughts, movement of speech, words in the mouth, movement of action. So we are talking about karma is for someone. Someone is the karta, for him is the karma. Whereas jnana is that where the individual himself dissolves. So are we ready to dissolve? Are we totally, what is that? न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागे नैके अमृतत्वमानुषुः. न कर्मणा न प्रजया न dhanena. Again, same thing. Like we saw in the previous verse, 3 eshanas, putreshna, vitteshna, lokeshna. Here is na karmana, not by action, na prajaya, not by progeny, na dhanena, not by wealth. Then how immortality is gained? Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu. Only by renunciation. And renunciation is not wearing this color cloth. Renunciation doesn't mean go to the forest. Renunciation doesn't mean go and get involved in an ashram, go to Himalayas. Renunciation means where we are totally, two ways, our kartrutva, the doership and enjoyership is totally dissolved in the contemplation of the truth on one hand, and we are alert that we don't get pulled back into the world and become the doer and the enjoyer. Because world is continuously reaching you in some way or the other. Even if you are in Himalayas, even if you are in the ashram, the world is coming to you. Every moment it is coming. So this renunciation is not at the physical level. This renunciation is the bhava of the mind, of the intellect, the tyaga bhava, the udasina bhava, indifference towards the world. Then renunciation. See? So he says that by the jnana, the individuality is dissolved. So therefore, this second mantra is for those people who have a desire to live long. For them this, therefore, So it cannot be for the sannyasi. This second mantra, kurvanneveha karmani, this instruction cannot be for the sannyasi. It has to be for someone. That's why the verse has come. That great teacher Adi Shankaracharya is thinking, contemplating. He has already done the thinking for us. So therefore he says it is for the anatmagya. इहा अप्युक्तम यो हि जिजीविषेत् स कर्म कुर्वन् ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिताः मा गृदकस्य स्विद्धनम् इति च न जीविते मरणे वा गृधिं कुर्वीत आरण्यम इयाद इति च पदम ततो न पुनः इयात् इति संन्यास शासनात् उभयोः फलभेदं च वक्ष्यति. So here he says ihapyuktam so he yo hi jijivishet sa karma kurvan, etc. So here he is saying that we have already all these verses that jijivishet sa karma kurvan ishavasya sarvam tena tektena bunjita, etc. ma grudakasya swiddhanam. These were given in the these were told in the first verse. They cannot be for a person who has not renounced. They can be only for the person for as the second part, that don't get protect the self by not getting caught up by the three desires. That instruction will be for a person who is already withdrawn from the three ashanas. It cannot be for the person who is still caught up in the ashanas. And therefore, so the first verse, the various points which were said for the sannyasi, that here when he says what na jivite marane va grudhim kurvit. So do not wish to live or to die. It was told to the sannyasi. This fellow in the second verse, he wants to live. The one who is committed to karma, who feels that he has to act, and he wants to live for 100 years. Many people want to live 100 years. But to him it was told, don't have a wish to live and don't have a wish to die also. That was the sannyasi who is already in that disposition. And therefore it was told here, kurvita aranyam iyad iti cha padam tato na punaha iyat iti sannyasa shasanat. The instruction for a sannyasi is that he should not live for living, nor he should or for have the wish for dying, and with that attitude in the mind he should move into the forest and never come back home again. Now, an unintelligent person, how will he take? He will take the forest to be the jungles and okay, let's go to Himalayas, let's go to the forest. But what is this forest? This forest is the sansar. This forest is the sansar. The forest is all the stimuli coming from seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, memories, thoughts. This is the forest. And once this sannyasi, he has unclutched himself from the three ashanas, committed to the truth, contemplating on the truth. not giving a second thought to the world. And here it is told, neither having a desire to live nor to die. If this thought comes in the mind of a sannyasi, he is not a sannyasi. Sannyasi is he who does not think he is the body. Because his mind is continuously at the feet of the divine. He has already transcended the body identification, or on his way, whichever way you put it. So neither he talks about his past, neither he is expecting anything in the future. This is not given in the commentary, I am just adding. But he is living, not continuously thinking, I don't want to live, I don't want to die. I don't want to live, I don't want to. No, it's just once he thought, I am as I am. Atmanishtha means I am as I am. The sun doesn't think about extending the day longer or shortening the night. No, today I will allow the night to be a bit longer because see how beautifully, like small children, everyone is sleeping. Let them, why should I disturb them in the morning by coming out? No, let them continue for a little bit more. Can sun ever think like that? So from sun's point of view, there is no birth, there is no living, or there is no dying of day and night from sun's point of view. So sannyasi, he is already unclutched himself from body identification as a result of contemplating on the truth. So for him, whether body lives or doesn't live, it does not matter. Whether thoughts come or don't come, it does not matter. Whether he speaks or doesn't speak does not matter. Whether he eats or drinks, it does not matter. He has transcended it. Na lipyate, what is that? What does it say? Na jivite marne va grudhim kurvit aranyam iyad iti cha padam tato na punah iyad iti sannyasa shasanam. So the instruction to the sannyasi is, now don't get back into the world. Meaning, don't get identified with the world again. Once you have done whatever was to be done, he must have done something. That's why he is a sannyasi. Because he did what was to be done, but now he is only committed to the truth, living in the truth, contemplating on the truth, being the truth, knowing the truth, speaking the truth. Now don't come back down to the level of the anatmagya. Who is anatmagya? Who is considering all the stimuli to be real? Who is considering body to be real? Who is considering the karma to be real? See? And why is he? Because he has considered his body to be real, therefore karma is real, mind is real, and all the activities in the world are real. But the previous one has already transcended all that. He has sorted it out in his mind. See how wonderful. So that was the path for the sannyasi, the first verse. Second verse is the path for the karma yogi, the one who is committed to the karma or living long. Then what is that we have to do? We perform the way Shastras are telling, a self-imposed discipline. We work, whatever life is presenting to us, we work joyfully, dynamically, with inspiration, 100%, without expecting any result. What will happen? Many times the result will come according to, because we are not still purified, sometimes we will recognize that thing, the result is not conducive, sometimes it is conducive, but that is your tapasya. So our job is only to work with positive, proper attitude. And along the way, a lot of suffering may come, may not come. Because where there is work, if you do yoga, so much aches, pains, you do Kriya Yoga or Kundalini Yoga, oh, the body becomes straight, it becomes heated up, it becomes stiff. It's exhausting. You're doing Japa Sadhana, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, you get exhausted. Heat is generated, tiredness comes. So for this person, only through work. What is work? Work is like tapasya. Work is the tapasya. And as that tapasya is going on in the right attitude, then whatever has to drop off, there will be some suffering because mind is not purified completely. You go through that journey of tapasya, of suffering, without reacting, continue joyfully in spite of suffering. Continue joyfully in spite of suffering. Then only discovery will happen. Then only discovery will happen. See? So we don't want to go into the sannyasi. He is udasin. He is not lazy. He is not procrastinating. He is not expressing lethargy. He is contemplative. For a common man, sannyasi may be a lazy fellow. But in him, as Dattatreya Maharaj lying under the tree, that king came, he says, why are you are looking very happy but you are not doing anything. How can you be happy without doing anything? These are 24 gurus he then talks about, just by mere observation. But king is karmat. If I don't do, how can I succeed? See? So when we work in this world, we go through the process of cleansing. We discover that we are not getting affected by the world, and we will not get affected by the world only when we realize that as much as we may do the work in this world continues to be like the tail of the dog, teda. It never straightens up. The world is always like that. And the day this clicks, that this world, which includes our relations, our possessions, our body, our breath, our mind, our intellect, our thoughts, that they will be the way they are, and we cannot do anything about it. Till you are controlling them, they will function. The moment you let go, the old things memories will start coming, they will go into the wrong direction. This recognition has to come about, that this world has always been like this and it will continue. Let's not waste putting attention on this world and try to control this world and make it behave the way we want it to, or improve it. So when we say, I want to improve myself, basically what are we trying? We want to improve our body, we want to improve our emotions, we want to improve our mind. We can never improve the mind, because mind will continue to think thoughts. Mind will only improve when you are thinking of something higher. So here for the karmani, the karma karta, the doer, the one who is committed to action, for him it is told that your right is only to perform, and perform in the positive way, not expecting any results, and you discover that this world cannot be improved, and once it clicks that you come to know that this world cannot be improved, you will fall into that poise in spite of the karma going on. It's a click. It is not something that you can bring it about. It is not something that will be a result of some effort. No. Our effort is only performing action with inspiration, not expecting any result. That's all. And when we come to recognize this, what here ubhayo phala bhedam na vakshati. Before we come to that, then when we have come to this point that we cannot improve the world, and we come to the poise that activity is taking place, I don't have to own the activity that is going on. Now such a person, as a result of karma, when he has come to this point where he is able to see karma and akarma, activity and inactivity, both happening at the same time. This is the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Where Krishna Bhagavan tells Arjuna, yogi is he who sees activity in inactivity and inactivity in activity. Karmani akarmani pashyed, and opposite. Then what happens? What is the next chapter after 4th chapter? Karma sannyasa yoga. Then he who has come to this point, he is now ready for sannyas. He is ready to take the next jump. He is ready for renunciation. He who has come to this realization that activity and inactivity are both cancelling each other, they are both coexisting because of each other. He is not the doer. So if our daily performance, quickly conclude it, already we are over time, our daily performance must conclude in this, where we are able to observe that activity and inactivity are happening. Taken at a larger scale, activity, waking and dream. Inactivity, sleep. Both are happening. You know they are happening. Why do you get identified with it in the waking? Let activity go on. You don't take ownership. And if you feel that, no, how can I not? I have to do it. Then do it with inspiration. Do it with joy. Do it without any expectation of a result. But I am at work, I have to do this, there are some goals. Then do it to the best of the ability. Don't get stressed and anxious because of those goals. Continuously thinking of the goal and not performing right now. We'll take it from the 5th paragraph. We'll take it in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a few seconds. हरि ओम.
हरिओम स्वामीजी.
हरि ओम.
हरिओम स्वामीजी.
हरिओम.